Thank you. Let's bring in retired four-star General Jack Keane, former Army Vice Chief of Staff, now chairman of the Institute for the Study of War, and Fox News senior strategic analyst. General, it's always great to have you on. I just want to get your take on what Benjamin Netanyahu said to Bret Baier. Is he correct that if Hamas disarms, that for all intents and purposes, that would be the end of Hamas, at least in Gaza?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. They disarm, they can't stay in power. And they would be offered, if they want to, exile out of there, which is certainly something in Israel's interest, to be sure. But they have no intention of disarming. I mean, they have said that time and time again. And the president and the prime minister are clearly on the same page here. They're very clear-eyed about what took place on October the 7th and what had to take place since that time. And that story is not over yet. And the major lesson learned that the prime minister and the president both understand very clearly, and that is you cannot have these adversaries build capability so that they really have the ability to do damage to Israel. And that's Hamas right there on the border, Hezbollah on the border, and Iran with long-range ballistic missiles and the potential for nuclear weapons. That is never going to happen again. Yeah. And that is the reality we're facing right here. We would like to see them voluntarily disarm, but they said they're not going to do it. And if the International Stabilization Force cannot do it because they lack the will, then obviously Israel will do that and will have the United States' full support in doing that. And certainly Iran is trying to recover their ballistic missile program. Nobody is going to permit that to get to the kind of position it was where it could inflict significant casualties on Israel again. That's not going to happen. And the Israelis will be given a green light to attack, and if they need our help, certainly we're going to participate. And certainly the idea that Iran, who is committed to renewing their nuclear program, we know that for a fact, although they haven't begun the recovery yet. If they start that, we're not going to let them get to any stage of development there where it would be a danger. So yes, we're clear-eyed. We got a common unity of purpose here, and that's stopping it. And listen, the backdrop for all of this is actually a new Middle East, with Iran not having the dominance it has had in the past, with these proxies surrounding Israel, no longer threatening them, right. And with the Abraham Accords beginning to explode in a sense, because once the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia does it, so will all the Arab states in the region do it, and working out some kind of a deal with Syria as well. All of that is possible, but we have this immediate situation that has to be taken care of, and we've got two tough-minded leaders who see it for what it is and are determined to get the results that are necessary.
I was going to ask you about Iran, but you were gracious enough to cover that. I want to move on to what I would consider breaking news coming out of Ukraine. It was posted by the national security correspondent for Reuters, and he said today, quoting here, President Zelensky tells media in a WhatsApp chat that Kyiv is discussing President Trump's U.S. troops' presence in Ukraine. When you hear U.S. troops' presence in Ukraine, what do you think, General?
Well, yeah, one of the recommendations has been that the United States should provide training assistance for Ukraine, not combat security forces that the Europeans are likely going to provide. But this is deep in the rear to help really build the best military Ukraine can possibly have. And there's things that we can help improve them on. And also, we have to upgrade their defense industrial base. So, yes, there has been a suggestion for some time that the U.S. should be given a training mission to start rebuilding the Ukraine military to the status that it needs to be, so it can, in of itself, be a deterrent against Russia, not just the Europeans and the United States with air, sea, and maritime forces participating as part of a multinational force. All of that makes some sense. Whether that becomes a reality, that's subject to negotiations, to be sure.
Yeah. General? Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.